The Hamilton County government and the city of Eastridge are also defendants in the lawsuit.
The facts and circumstances that we've alleged necessitated such a civil action.
It's been almost 1 month since hundreds of Budgetel residents were evicted out of their homes after the Hamilton County District Attorney's Office filed a petition for abatement. District Attorney Wamp said the main reason they filed was
because of the constant crime, constant calls that the police department, EMS, and fire have to respond to on a daily basis.
Now, Attorney Robin Flores is filing a class action lawsuit. The class representative is former Budgetel resident Robert Burkhalter.
I think it was very inconvenient for them to do this to me, and I'd like to have a recourse.
Burkhalter was the plaintiff in a federal lawsuit filed against Hamilton County DA Wamp, but it was dropped once Eastridge Police Department allowed Burkhalter to retrieve his possessions from the Budgetel. According to the class action suit, Burkhalter now represents a class, quote, made up of all those residents of the Budgetel who were unlawfully removed from their homes and deprived of their personal property by the defendants.
Pretty much everybody, as we can tell, suffered the same type of deprivation as Mr. Burkhalter. So you not only have damages for the individual, you have damages for the entire class.
There are over 10 defendants in this lawsuit, including the city of Eastridge, the Hamilton County government, and multiple Eastridge antique stores and businesses. According to Flores, many of these businesses signed DA Wamp's petition. Court documents show nearby business owners worried for their safety and their livelihood as the DA cites hundreds of police calls to the property. According to the DA's office, the Eastridge Police Department received over 1,400 calls for service at the Budgetel Inn between October 1st, 2019 and October 8th, 2022. It's one reason that led to the evictions.
This one act has opened up a Pandora's box, and so there's more to come.
As the judge lays out how the Budgetel in Eastridge can open once again, there are questions about why a city ordinance already in place wasn't being followed in the first place and whose job it was to enforce it.
The roadmap to reopen the Budgetel is very clear right now, and it's getting clearer every time we have one of these conferences.
The Budgetel extended stay in Eastridge, once the former Superior Creek Lodge. Here's former Eastridge Mayor Brent Lambert in 2016 when they put new restrictions in place to fix problems at the city's extended stay.
Through ordinance back in 2012, we defined what extended stay is, and that means no one stays more than 90 days.
The city's current ordinance says, quote, in no case shall guest rooms be occupied for more than 120 days. But in court, the DA introduced a log that keeps track of current residents.
Are there individuals on State's Exhibit 3 that were staying at the hotel for longer than 120 days?
Yes.
And one resident's stay?
I seem to recall one with 800 and some odd days of stay.
But Christopher Clem, the attorney representing the LLC behind the Budgetel, says there was confusion about whether this applied to the Budgetel.
I would have considered it a gray area, which is why we had emailed the city attorney and the city codes people on numerous occasions. We said, look, we're not sure it applies. You tell us. And they were never very definitive about it. They didn't get back to us.
We reached out to the Eastridge Mayor, Code Enforcement Department, and the city manager to see how some residents were able to stay there more than 2 years with that ordinance on the books.
The Tennessee Education Savings Act provides public students with about $8,000 vouchers to pay private school tuition, and currently it's in its first year. The program is only for Tennessee's 2 largest counties, but recent legislation by a local lawmaker would include Hamilton County schools in the pilot, concerning some advocates who believe the current data is incomplete.
He has been a person that has championed it, opposed it, championed it again. And, he's hot, cold, hot.
Accusations of an ever-changing mindset from State Senator Todd Gardenhire.
Again, it looks like he's contradicting his previous statements.
In 2019, the senator opposed the inclusion of Hamilton County schools in a Tennessee school voucher program. But now, 3 years later, the senator's changed his tune, crafting new legislation lowering eligibility standards to include Hamilton County.
That may be more politics than policy.
A concerning change for J.C. Bowman with the Professional Educators of Tennessee, who says the pilot requires the county to have 10 schools deemed in need of high priority assistance to qualify.
He really needs to demonstrate why his idea can work for Hamilton County.
Hamilton County has these 8 qualifying schools. Gardenhire said in an interview with the Tennessee Lookout that he changed his mind after the county removed their advisory board for high priority schools.
And this cannot be considered a best practice. It hasn't been proven.
But it's a move Representative Yusuf Hakeem says is too soon.
There has not been enough data collected.
Arguing that the pilot is less than a year old and only has about 1,000 applicants and a little over 500 participants.
The pool that you're looking at is smaller than that which was considered needed to give accurate or data.
A number State Senator Ramesh Akbari says is too small to determine any kind of success.
Well, I definitely would like to get additional data on the program.
Akbari opposed the legislation when it was first adopted in 2019 and argued for alternative solutions.
But investing more in our schools, making sure that we have a lower teacher-to-student ratio, teacher assistants, reading coaches, all sorts of support for the students, that actually moves the needle forward.